Hey, Tree Sprites. For centuries now, including today, Solani women, Black American women, have been wearing a disguise for so long that we have forgotten that it is a disguise. During the time that our foremothers were enslaved on these lands, they were severely tormented and unalived for displaying any aspect of their natural power and ability. They were attacked and destroyed for their natural spiritual prowess, gifts, and intuition. Solani women have always and continue to be one of the biggest threats to the power structures that we contend with in this nation. But this nation also needs us because it has always built itself since becoming the entity of the United States of America off of our bodies and through our bodies. There is a deep, deep message in the movie Wicked. I'm sure it wasn't intentional, but regardless, it's there. When Black women claim and command their own power, when we refuse to be exploited by others, we are instantly villainized because people outside of ourselves recognize that if we cannot be controlled, then we will rule. So we have learned to hide ourselves under the cloak of servitude, being helpful, being kind, being considerate, being hardworking, using our energy to manifest for the lives of others. Because under the systems of white narcissism and patriarchy, Black women are only to be used as tools. We are basically human wands under these systems. And because we were continuously forced into this state of survival, we have forgotten that we are not wands. We are not tools for the exploitation of others. We are our own gods under the great cosmic consciousness that we collectively refer to as the Most High God. Ultimately, no one is ever going to be able to utilize our powers and abilities in the way that we can for our own selves. Selfishness has become a foreign word to Black women because we are trained to believe that we are for others and not for ourselves, when in fact, we have only always been for our own selves. We have allowed our fear of social exclusion and violence to keep us in a state of complacency, to keep us bound to the will of others, insomuch that we even will reinforce this amongst each other and to our children. And we have become so accustomed to this survival strategy that we have forgotten that it is a strategy of survival and not a method of thriving or living a true existence on earth. And Black women, Solani women, living true authentic lives is considered completely unacceptable. Some of the strongest and most vehement reactions that you will see in this nation is toward Black women who are self-actualizing. So many people will leap to the occasion to punch us back down into the box that they built for us, to keep the genie in that bottle, because our oppressors never intended for us to thrive. They never intended for us to create a whole new culture after they stripped us of our indigenous ancestral ones. And right now, in this age, in this era, in this time, right now, we are on the cusp of a major point of evolution. And in order to nurture this progress, we can never look outside of ourselves for validation ever again. We cannot continue to appease, be complacent to, or support notions of white superiority. We cannot soothe the narcissistic white ego. In the face of ongoing, perpetual abuse and life-threatening circumstances, your nervous system will generate one of four responses. They are fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. For a long, long time, we have been trapped in the fawn response. This is the Stockholm Syndrome response. This is the response where you seek to please and appease your abuser in order to minimize the harm that they cause to you. However, collectively, staying in a perpetual fawn response will bring us to destruction. Because it doesn't matter how many times we say, "Oh, don't worry, I'm a good one." It will never change the fact that our opposition is very, very aware of our powers and abilities, and will never willingly take their foot off our neck as long as we continue to lick the boot. Also, these responses of our nervous system were never meant to be maintained chronically, but because we have spent generations being born into, living our lives through, and then passing away in this trauma response, we have failed to recognize that it is a trauma response. So now there is this question of, well, what is our natural state? What is our most authentic and truest state as Solani women? Have we ever really even seen it? I think that we've seen glimpses of it. We've seen hints of it, but we have not seen it in its full, complete glory. We are at a point now where we have a choice. Yes, of course we have opposition, but that opposition is going to remain there, regardless of the choice that we make. So we might as well choose ourselves, because choosing others has never helped us or benefited us in any way. What do you think it would look like for Solani people if Black women decided to choose themselves? If we decided to move out of the way and stop being the foundation for America, stop being the thing that everyone else stands on? What if we just let everyone fall and utilize our energy for the strict purpose of upholding ourselves, our children, and our community? Subscribe to Black Barn Owl, link in the bio. I'll see you in always.